What's going on, everybody? It's Carlos, your host of the Just Fans podcast, and I'm joined along here with my wrestling co-host who decided to show his face. That's right, it's like a luchador taking off his mask. We got the one and only, my buddy that's been helping me out with the first few episodes of this project that I'm working on here with the wrestling. Give it up for the American Mark himself, Justin. How's it going, Justin?
It's good. It's good. Daddy eats first. Damn it!
There you go, Daddy
I
eats
wanted the
first. God,
picture there and all that.
yeah,
You look
no, it's
good in
all
the
good,
hat.
bro.
It,
God,
it
I hate it. I hate
no, you don't
everything
hate it.
about this. It's the worst thing. It's I have to wear. Okay, so for those that don't know, I'm a big Astros fan. Wait, over here. I'm a big Astros fan. The problem is, I decided to open my mouth to Alan from Let's Talk Sports. My big old mouth. I ran. I was like, you know what? I feel so confident about these Astros beating the Rangers in the ALCS that I'm going to bet that the winner of the series is going to wear the opposing team's gear. Well, here I am. Astros lost to the Rangers. I have to wear Texas gear, and as I said, I got gear all the way up until what is it? December 31st at 11:59 p.m. This thing ends as soon as the new year hits. So I hate it. I don't like it. I feel disgusting. I don't know how those people in over there in Arlington or the DFW feel wearing crap like this, but here we are. It's the worst. I hate to. Ugh, I'm an
The
Astros fan through and through,
koozie
but this
looks
is just
more. The koozie looks more legit though than the hat. At least the hat you can pass it off
that
as like, oh, I love the state. Yay,
I
Texas.
right. So what's funny is that this, I said Rangers gear. I didn't say it had to be official, but here we are. This is as official as gonna get.
Yep.
Carlos is not gonna waste his money on Ranger gear, but yes, this is why I have to wear this crap again until beginning of 2024. As soon as January 1st, 2024, I don't have to wear any more Ranger gear. But this is all through the Let's Talk Sport Network. Alan, you've won this round. We will probably make more bets as the new year arises because I'm sure this rivalry is going to keep going on and on and on after this year. So, all right, man. So that's baseball for you. It is what it is. Man of my word. So let's really quick. Let's talk about first shout out, Rafael. What's up, buddy? Nice. Thanks for watching the show. Appreciate you. Thanks for the shout out. Check out Capitan Rafucho, Rafael. Check in. Great stuff. Great wrestling fanatic as well. All right. So, Justin, man. First of all, dude, it's been a minute since we've done one of these shows, dude. What have you been up to, dude? I know both of us have been pretty busy. How's your life going so far?
Busy.
Yeah.
Retail, in this time of
Yeah.
year, like
Yeah.
you get it. Like
Yeah.
working in any type of retail space, but got to do like in the world of wrestling. Ironically, both of us were there, just not together. We
Right.
both went to AEW.
We
Um,
did. We did too. It was an episode of how do you call it?
Dynam- it
Dynamite, and
it
they
was the
filmed
Dynamite,
Rampage.
which they always do, but like
Yeah.
this is where I'm gonna say like I wish they did the WWE thing because I was there. I got there around 6. I don't know how early
Right.
or late you got there. I really wish
Mhm.
Rampage was filmed before Dynamite instead of after
Yeah. Right. I
because
think it sets it up. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, yeah, it's because WWE, at least for SmackDown, Raw, one of the two, they filmed the Hulu show before at like 6, and
Right.
so you do the pre-show, the regular show, and then they'll do like a dark match for the fans to get. SmackDown, you get 2, but with AEW, it's always been they'll do the show, then do Rampage, and it used to be when they did Dark and Elevation, we got one of the two of those, and then Collision would get the other. And it's
Mhm.
luckily like only Rampage now, but like I left after that weird like tag match with Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian versus I don't
Mhm.
even remember who they were going against. I was like, I wanted to stay for Sky Blue, and I was like, yeah, it was 11 o'clock. I'm out. Like, sorry.
It was late. It was a whole like from 6 o'clock all the way to like you said 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
It's weird to say it's a lot of wrestling for like a wrestling fan, but it really was a lot of wrestling. Like
it
it
was.
yeah, it was like more. I was like, all right. I don't know. I guess probably as you get older, you're just like, all right. There's just so
It,
much that you can take.
I'm gonna ask you this, and then we can go into the other stuff. But like, how did you feel the arena was with that?
See,
Like,
it's a brand new arena. I think
I'm not talking the arena. I'm talking like the
oh,
crowd,
the
the
crowd
live.
itself. Um, So I don't know if you've seen a lot of the photos that go around that are like, look, AEW is empty,
Yep.
and then like the WWE marks are like AEW is empty, and then like the AEW marks are like, oh, SmackDown is also empty from one side. I hate that. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
hate that. Yes, you're gonna have an empty side because there's a
The
reason why the
camera
camera
and
is there.
yeah.
There's a reason why the camera is there. In case you didn't know, for those wrestling fans that keep posting those pictures, there's a camera angle. They have to face the camera,
Yeah.
so it's every time I see that, I was like, "Oh, shut up." I think
Admittedly, it's a tarped off small section,
right.
and so it's like it's not gonna like I noticed like upper rafters were empty. Everybody was pretty close
Mhm,
in. They were moving people that were in the upper rafters to fill in the
mhm.
bowl area. That was
Right.
cool. The crowd, like, there were moments where they were hot.
I like the crowd. I
It was
did. Yeah,
cool. They were hot for the Kenny match because that Kenny Omega match. That was
was
a
legit.
yeah, that was a good match.
I gotta say, it felt like this is weird to say out loud, but it felt like I was watching a big budget indie match, if that makes any sense.
No,
Indie
that's
wrestling, and
I
it's like more budget than regular than a
yeah.
regular indie match. It was like I was expecting the. Oh, by the way, what's up, Daniel from Barry Sports Highlights? What's up, bud? Thanks for hitting us up. It was just kind of like what being there, and especially at that arena because it was smaller than what I'm used to going. I'm used to going to the Toyota Center here and there, but
Mhm.
if I'm watching an indie, like you're expecting an indie match where you're gonna have like a horrible view, not so much of a horrible view, but it's gonna be more personal, I guess, if you want to call it.
Yeah,
But
more intimate, I guess is the way
more
to say it.
intimate, yeah, more
Yeah.
intimate, yeah, and so um when I went to that AEW taping here in well, they did it in Richmond, Texas, or
Yeah,
Rosenberg, whatever they want to
Rosenberg.
call it. Yeah,
They made a point on
they made a
camera when
point.
Sting was there. He's like, "Houston," and like I was right by the dude that
Mhm.
like yelled out, "We're in Rosenberg," and
Rosenberg,
I'm like, get over it. Like you're
shut
just
up.
getting
It's
yourself over at
Houston.
this part. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Like
shut up. It's Houston. Like, chill out. Like at the end, nobody's gonna be like, "Hey, Rosenberg, Texas." No, it's Houston. All right, you count as Houston. Shut up. It's like when you go to LA and you're like, "Oh, Anaheim." No, shut up. It's LA.
it's
Okay,
LA.
it's the same thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's still like 20 minutes out of the outskirts of Houston.
Yep.
Anyway, that's we're not here to discuss geographical location, but nonetheless, it was it felt I liked the arena. The ambiance was fine. There was a lot of times when you got to feel that those moments where you're like
Hmm.
it felt better than when you go to a WWE match, and that's because of the audience. What's funny is that coincidentally, like the Astros were playing the Rangers around that time, so I saw a
Yeah.
lot of people like they were tuning into the match, but at the same time they were
They had
tuning
the
into
Astros
like
like
the Astros game on. Yeah,
I had the box score going up on my
yeah,
phone. So like the
yeah.
group I was with, two or three of them were
Hmm.
like super following the World Series. So every
Right.
chance I get, I'd grab my phone and I'd look at it and I'd go like, "Oh
Hmm.
yeah, it's like the score's here."
Yeah.
Um it was the experience is fun. I had gone to the first Dynamite taping at
Right.
U of H shit, 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
when they were doing a U of H, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not I went to the first one. I didn't go to the second one.
Mhm.
It was it was AEW show. I like the fact that even though Copeland wasn't on the card or on the show, he
It
like
still came
came
out.
out. Yeah, he
Yeah.
came out and he got his hometown pop. I I'm excited. It got that was I from there I started rewatching some of the product. There's a lot of for all of the booking problems that
Yeah.
AEW's had, and I've been very vocal about it.
Same. Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff that I'm excited for. I'm loving the MJF Jay White Bullet Club
Yeah.
Gold thing.
Mhm.
I'm excited for Full Gear next
Yeah.
2 weekends. Next weekend or
It's
2 weekends. The
yeah,
14th.
I'm actually looking forward to Full Gear myself. I was like, usually like a lot of these pay-per-views, like remember the last time we were on, we were kind of talking about how and it's been a minute. We were talking
Yeah.
about how there's no championships that are in as far as WWE. They're not going to change anytime by the end of this year.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
exactly.
remember that, and then but we'll talk about Crown Jewel in a little
We'll
bit.
get to
But
that.
yeah, but it was like I like towards the end of this year, I wasn't really looking forward to any like big pay per views because there's like, well, the big major ones are done. Like literally after SummerSlam, you're done
Yeah.
with, right?
Well, and
And then
like, did you watch Crown Jewel, like at all?
I watched parts of it here and there. It
The
was a busy
announcement that
day.
they made for Survivor Series in 3
Yeah.
weeks, where they're bringing War Games in, I was like, oh shit,
Yes.
I'm excited for Survivor
It's
Series now.
excited. Yeah, because it's war games were always fun. Back when I used to see them in WCW, it was legit. I mean, NXT brought it back here and there, but it was cool seeing it. But what war games in Survivor Series, I'm like, oh, I think I want to tune in. You know,
Well, they did it last year was the big
yeah,
War
sir.
Games match
Yeah,
too, where they did the Sammy
right.
turn on KO, and I was like, I'm
That was a
excited
good
for
one.
that.
That was a good one. Yeah. No. So yeah. No. Nonetheless, I saw when we were speaking. Still, going back to the AEW arena that we were there. I mean, you know why I'm there. I'm really I'm a big Pentagon Junior fan. Like I was there watching him and coincidentally he was,
Yes.
Cero Miedo. Yeah, Zero Fear. I'm a big fan and it's not just because of like I know how the person is. And he's a very humble dude, just very down to earth, does a lot of stuff for his fans. Yes, you can agree that any other wrestler does the same thing for their fans, some of them,
Nah.
but I click well with this dude, and so he's a really cool dude. And I went to go see him at a indie show down in Brownsville, Texas last weekend. That was fun. Um, and I wanted to talk about the experience real quick because it had been a long time since I had been to an indie show. I mean, like I said, when we went to the AEW, you and I were there, but like separately.
Hmm.
Um, we were there, and it, like I said, it felt like a higher budget indie show, right?
I mean,
But it was still, I mean, seeing Sting, I that was the first time I ever saw Sting in person, and I was
same.
just amazed that you look forward to the legend this thing and the fact that he made the announcement in Rosenberg, Texas, like you walked in knowing they're not going to do anything special in Rosenberg.
I
It's Rosenberg, but
they
that,
it said like, oh, Sting's got a big announcement. I was like, oh, they're gonna
yeah,
announce some like stupid triple threat at
right,
Full
right,
Gear. It's gonna be
right,
like him, Darby, and Edge
yeah,
versus, and then he's like, I'm retiring at Revolution next
Revolution,
year.
yeah, next year, yeah,
I was
and I
like,
was like, whoa,
oh,
that's a big
because
one,
there were a bunch of people that were like, oh, he's gonna announce a retirement. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, like I think he still had something in the tank, and
yeah,
now we're past Houston and gone into, what do you call it, like this past week, where it's now like,
right,
hey, I'm doing my last match at Full Gear or at Revolution, and it's like Ric
hmm,
Flair fucking comes out and he's like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
here, and I'm like, Jesus, okay.
yeah.
But anyways,
No, I agree. It's Ric Flair, brought it. I think he got. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Didn't he get signed for like a multi-year deal or something like that?
the deal is hilarious. So the deal is 2 years with
Oh,
AEW,
multi. Yeah,
and it's multi-year in the sense that it's not a year, but it's also not
got it.
paying Rick. It's AEW also signed for that Ric Flair energy drink, the Woo one.
Oh, right.
It's
Oh, that's right. The
it's
endorsement or whatever.
yeah, so it's an endorsement deal for the energy drink, and Rick is paid through that for up to 2 years. And I'm like,
Might as well pay
okay.
him.
And then he was on ESPN Sports Talk
Right.
last night, or
Mhm.
on their Sports Talk radio, and he was saying like, "Oh, by the way, I'm cleared. Like, I can go wrestle." It's like, I'm pretty sure the last time you were in a ring, you passed out and almost
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
Like,
Didn't he face Andrade the last time he was in a ring?
no, it was Jay Lethal,
Yeah,
and
Lethal.
it
Yeah.
was Jay Lethal versus Rick. Jay Lethal had either, God, I can't remember, but
Oh, yes.
um
He didn't show up or something like that, or he didn't
no,
want to.
no, one of Davari's dudes, one of the
Yeah.
Davaris were with him in his corner. That was in
That's
Impact with
okay.
Jay
That's what it
Lethal,
was.
and
Yes.
then Rick had Andrade in his corner, and it was
That's
like,
what it was. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was like all weird because like Andrade pretty much had to like carry the match
Yeah.
because like Rick came out, did a few things, put Jay Lethal in a figure four, and then he says he fell asleep. But I'm like, "You-
You fall asleep in a
okay,
match? I'm like,
yeah,
okay, Rick. Okay, Rick. Yeah.
um, and it was super weird. It was not a good match, and I was
Yeah.
always like, okay, like this is proof you do not need to be in a ring anymore.
Yeah. No, it's over.
So
It's over. Like Rick gave us the best years that he could. Like I like I feel fortunate that I still, as a kid, got to catch some of Ric Flair's matches all the way to like early WWE,
Yeah.
2000. Like I remember watching Bad Blood 2004 that came to the. It was before the Toyota Center. It
Yeah.
was a Compact Center. It
It
was
was
like a
that
Hell in a Cell
compact. Yeah.
match with Shawn Michaels, and I saw that. I was like, that's such a good match. Like I got to see the Nature Boy, so I feel lucky in that. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
I got to see a guy that spanned generations. You know, and you can say that about a lot of wrestlers. I think that's one of the things that us wrestling fans have, that we can, we're lucky enough to see a lot of these guys, go through the motion. Some, unfortunately,
I just
passed before their time or whatever, but you know, we get to at least see them. It's almost like, if you're looking at, baseball, football, any other sport, like it's hard to see those guys still, you know, doing their thing or being able to see any of those moments. But for wrestling fans, you can see that. That's what I think was one of the reasons
yeah.
why I like it. You know, but Ric Flair, like I said, yeah, now back to your point, like I don't think he belongs in the ring anymore, man. Like if you have to be carried out,
Well,
you gave everybody your best years. Like that should be
I think
enough
it
in a
was
sense.
Devon Dudley or one of the guys
Yeah.
that did Impact with him, like during that year of like him,
Right.
Samoa Joe. They had said like Ric Flair had the perfect send off at WWE. Then he
Yes.
came to Impact and should have just regretted it then.
Yeah.
And Ric Flair's just like, nah, man, that was great. I loved Impact. And I was like, okay, but
Did you?
but
I think the best thing about Impact when he came back was the Jay Lethal, Ric Flair
oh,
thing. One of
the
my
woo
favorite
off
videos
on
of
the
all time.
stage.
Yes, the woo off. That to me was like the best thing about Ric Flair coming back. Like
Yep.
that's the only main memory that I have of him coming to Impact was that woo off with Jay Lethal.
There
Um,
there's a lot of interesting things that I go back and think about with Ric Flair. One of the
yeah,
biggest ones is everyone tries to say like, "Oh yeah, his second run with WWE when they did like the invasion angle through Evolution." I was like he did nothing
yeah,
in that run. Like you had the
yeah,
matches with like Shawn Michaels and some like
right,
one-offs, but like he never got a title run. Or he did a tag title run, I believe, with Orton and Batista as like the Freebird Championship for,
right.
but he never got a heavyweight championship, never got the Intercontinental, never got the U.S. championship. Like everyone's like, oh man, like everything like that. And like when we were talking about doing the podcast this past week, last night I was
Yeah.
thinking about it while watching SmackDown
Mhm.
because they had made a point of like, oh, Cena should just get number 17. And now
Mhm.
that Rick's no longer like bound to WWE, what do they owe him? And I thought about it and I was like, because somebody had said like on Squared Circle, they were like, oh, he has a lot more than 17 world championship runs.
Yes.
And it's funny because if you think about it, like 14-ish of those 16 championship runs are
Yeah.
all WCW and NWA
They
because
are
the NWA World Heavyweight Championship eventually became WCW's
WCW.
big gold World
Mhm.
Heavyweight Championship.
Beautiful
So
belt, by the way.
beautiful. One of
Beautiful.
my favorite designs.
Yes.
12 of those are NWA, 2 of them are WCW. He's only
Mhm.
got 2 WWE Championship
Right.
title runs.
Right.
One of them is 1992 Royal Rumble. The other one was 91, 92-ish. So
92, I believe. Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, so it's like he doesn't have like a lot of prestige in WWE.
Wow.
He
In
he's
the, yeah.
his like whole thing in WWE is based around WCW, which is fine. Like it's
Right.
cool.
Yeah. Which is what most of these guys did. I mean, if you think about it, he did Sting. I mean, no, I don't want to say Sting. That's a bad one. Goldberg. I mean, he
Yeah.
had a few WWE things, but I mean, they always kind of made him champion every once in a while. But it was because I don't know, like Vince has like a fascination with Goldberg for some reason. Even though we kind of know,
Yeah.
we kind of know that he's not
It's
really,
I think
of,
the only two like guys from the merger with WCW that had gotten over after the merger, Booker
yeah,
T was one
Booker T
because
for sure.
I think 3 of the 5 championships was WWF,
Hmm.
WWE, whatever. Um
Yeah,
and Chris Benoit, because Chris Benoit and Eddie
can't say
Guerrero,
that name no more. Can't say that name. Yeah, no,
uh,
exactly.
I think those are the only 2 that like post merger had
Yes,
not already jumped into WWF from
right.
WCW, because
Hmm.
people would say like Eddie, and I was like, Eddie was about a month or 2 right before the buyout.
I
But
mean, can you like if okay? So if you think back at that moment, like when the Radicals came over, you're talking about Dean Malenko, Benoit, Perry Saturn, and Eddie. Would you really consider them like? I mean, yes, they were like the backbone of the WCW, but they weren't really main like stars.
it's hard to tell because with
Okay.
WCW, especially the Twilight. So I would
Hmm.
say 97, 98, all the way through the end. So that like 3-year run, you
Hmm.
had the Outsiders that were a big thing because
Right.
like Hall and Nash coming over after Hogan.
Right.
Obviously, they pushed Hogan just to the moon.
Of course.
Um, Goldberg, Sting.
Hmm.
I think Macho Man was in at that point. Um, Brett was very flash in the pan, in and out with WCW. Like
Yeah.
it's
It's
funny
just
because you hear about these guys, like you're talking
right.
about like the outside, you're talking about the Radicals,
Right.
Jericho. Like Jericho has come out and said like WCW during that period was pretty much like you had to work to get yourself over,
Hmm.
but it was incredibly difficult because working to get
Right.
yourself over was working against Hogan, working
Yeah,
against a
it was
lot of
always
these
the same
guys.
guys at the top. Like one
Hmm.
of the things that I really liked during the Monday Night War stuff is the fact that WWF kept making new guys. I mean, you had the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, the Dudley Boys who had been acquired from the ECW. You had uh new just these fresh faces that they were making. I mean, well, that's part of Edge and Christian, but like these people that were coming up, they were making new
Hmm.
stars, and WCW just kept it with the same guys that they had they had just gotten from WWF, and like and for a certain while, like I thought, I kept thinking AEW's going through the same thing, you
I'm
know?
curious for that, and it's
Yeah,
funny because like so talking old pay-per-views, like we didn't do a show post All Out.
right.
We did All In, we didn't do All Out.
We can do all that, yeah.
And all it was what the next pay-per-view, like the next
Hmm.
week,
Right,
WrestleMania.
right,
Like Edge jumps ship, goes to
right.
AEW
Mhm.
and all of that, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" Like to me, everyone like in my head when it was like, "Oh, Adam Copeland's All Elite," I was like, "That's cool," but
But
like,
his best years are behind him.
yeah, like and I had said it to a friend of mine when he had cut when we were at AEW
Hmm.
and he had
Hmm.
come out, and I was like, "It's not the same." Like
It's not.
I was in the arena at the Rumble the year he legit came back, and I
Right.
like that atmosphere. Like
You can't replicate it.
no, and I had a friend of mine trying to say like, "Oh, the pop was the same as the Rumble," and I was like, "No,
No,
no."
no,
Like
no.
that pop at that Rumble is Minute Maid sits
Insane.
175,000. You
Yeah.
had maybe 6 at in that Rosenberg Arena. Like that was almost 180,000 people. I'm doing WWE math here. That
Mhm.
created that pop. And that but to what we were talking about and to go back to it, like that's the cool thing about AEW was it is very indie feeling.
Mhm.
Um it's very much fun to like have that moment where it was like that Kenny Omega match. Um,
Yes.
like that was like the crowd was in it and they felt it. There was that main event segment with did no MJF did not have a match, but there was the main event segment with MJF and Jay White.
Jay
Like
White, yeah.
and that whole segment, like everybody hated the guns, and I just loved. Oh, because the main event that night was the elimination match for the whatever
Yeah,
championship thing for
I
Full
think
Gear.
that match was the first match started off was Penta versus Jay White.
Yep, Penta versus
Yeah.
no, yeah, Penta
Yeah.
versus Jay White. Because the closing was, and that was the other thing was they did that battle royale where it
Mhm.
was like 10 guys plus Max Caster and Juice
Yeah.
Robinson
Yeah.
for a championship opportunity. And I'm
Right.
like, you already knew Juice was winning it, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
fun
It was
and
obvious.
it was more fun for the aftermath. And I absolutely loved like the entire crowd because like the whole night, like anytime you see Bullet Club, I'm a mark for Bullet Club.
Mhm.
I'm doing the guns, and
Mhm.
you've got the guns coming out, and they're like, "All right, we got 2 words for you, guns up,"
So,
and
yeah.
like you had that atmosphere, and I was like, "That's cool. That's what's
Yeah.
nice about this."
It was a pretty good ambiance, to be honest. I did enjoy it. Would I go back to watch another one? I would say yeah. Um,
I wouldn't pay
I
what
would.
I paid. I I I you were lucky. I wouldn't pay
I
the
didn't
100
pay
bucks.
anything. I was like, I
I
didn't pay
know.
anything.
I paid 100 bucks.
You paid
And
$100 for that?
I paid 100 bucks, but I was on the camera side, 3 rows up
Yeah,
from the ramp.
yeah.
So I mean like I pay 100 bucks to go? No, because I had heard people were getting tickets for like 20 bucks night of in the same area.
There were some
So
people that didn't pay anything at all.
I know I'm looking at one.
Right? No, anyway. Hey, it's connections, bro. No, I'm just kidding. No, no, but nonetheless, I mean, I did like the ambiance. I did like it, like you said. It was fun. I did I waited until the Sky Blue match was over with. I did wait.
Okay, so you stayed
Sp-
through the Sky Blue
I
match.
stayed through the Sky Blue match. I do like Sky Blue's cool. I the storyline,
There's no
I
storyline.
yeah, that's what I'm like. The storyline, I'm like the angle. I I guess they're going with the emo thing with the miss, but I'm just like we could do better.
Yeah, it's
I'm not a big fan of it.
like there's a couple of things that they're doing storyline wise. I'm like that's super interesting. The
Hmm.
MJF thing with Jay White, where the title like that's a gimmick that
Right.
I love is like the stolen title thing. I enjoy
Yes.
that. I totally forgot that your Ring of Honor, not Ring, yeah, Ring of Honor,
Yeah, Ring of Honor exists.
yeah, but the 6-man tag champs are Kenny and the Bucks, and I'm like,
Hmm.
or Hangman and the Bucks, and then that's leading to Hangman versus Swerve, but not leading it's interesting. So
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. Before we talk about before we talk about what was it? A crown jewel. I want to talk about this experience that I had at the indie show over there at the Valley. Um, it'll be short, don't worry.
oh, you're fine.
I get there. We have an hour. No, I'm just kidding. No, I went there, and I went there to see Penta. I'm a big Penta fan. Penta's cool. Um, and I went to go see him battle whatever whoever he was. And he was I don't know if you're familiar with the wrestler Sam Adonis. He's in AAA. Okay. Well, that was like the main event card or whatever. Um, cool dude. He was cool. But before the match, before the event itself, I went to a bar and had a few, and Penta was there. And doing this whole autograph, hanging out. So we got to hang out with him for a while. Penta and a few of the guys that were going to be wrestling that night. So the event starts at 8 o'clock. We were probably there like at 5:30, just drinking a few or whatever. It was really fun because you get to just like hang out, all that. Um, then we head over to they were wrestling at a college auditorium, and so that was kind of fun. I promise you, I got almost like ringside tickets for like $20. It was like the cheapest thing ever, and it was
Oh,
fun.
dope.
They
Did you
Yeah,
get
they
to
made it
did you
very
get to
personal.
take you like backstage or anything or no?
I mean, there really wasn't a backstage if you really think about it. It was a college auditorium. There's really no backstage. It was just there, and so um, you go and okay, so you and I went to the same high school, and
Yep.
Justin, so the backstage was literally like behind the theater. Like there wasn't really much of a
That's
backstage.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's the atmosphere. That's
yeah,
cool. Like to
yeah,
to see that. That's still
yeah.
something cool. Like
It is getting ready or whatever, but it was literally like behind the Elsic theater. Like it wasn't much. It was like, all right,
yeah.
cool, it's behind. Like they would come out through like the side of the stage, you know what I mean? It was just a match. It was fun. I was just there to see the match, and so I'm there, hang out with Pensa for a little bit, take some more pictures with him, whatever, and all that. There it was a really cool ambiance because like you get to see that they make it really personal, and that's what I like about the indie wrestling.
Yeah.
They make it so personal and whatnot, and they adhere to the crowd and everybody that's there to make their $20 that you spent worth it or whatever. I was really close to the ring, so I was pretty happy about that. Few good matches. I got to see. There was this wrestler that I used to watch on Lucha Underground. Also, Sexy Star was there. She was great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I
she
know
was.
her.
She was. Yeah, she was in Lucha Underground, and she's great. She was a very nice person. All that. Of course, met Penta several times. He's a cool dude. Um, there's one guy that I met there, and I think I texted you about it, Justin. And I'm actually wearing his shirt right now. It's really cool, dude. Very humble guy. Like I swear to gosh, he was.
I
He
mentioned
was.
him.
I mentioned him. Okay, so a lot. His name is Briante.
Okay.
The translation is like bright or whatever, whatever you want to call it, like bright like a diamond or whatever. Um, really cool dude. He, like many wrestlers, they what they did in this case, they like before the match, they have like a little booth or whatever
It's like the
outside
merch
of,
table, right?
yeah, the merch table, and the guy's actually selling his wrestling mask, his gear, like this, his shirt,
Okay.
um, like little things, whatever, keychains and all that, whatever helps them out or whatever. And so
Yeah.
his, he was like, I had a whole conversation with this dude. I promise you, like the nicest, most humble human being I've ever met, and we're just talking. He's about to wrestle in like 30 minutes before we were talking, and so, or an hour, whatever it was.
Hmm.
But I met him, and we are just kind of just shooting it, and he was just telling me about about himself and his and the stuff. And I think he's like a local wrestler there in the valley
He's in
in
the Valley area,
Brownsville.
right?
Yeah, valley
Yeah.
area down in Brownsville or and whatnot. And I promise you, this, we were just hanging out, and I told him about, hey man, I got this podcast. If you ever want to come out and be a guest or whatever, come through. And then I gave him one of our stickers or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I would love to. And just, I bought a shirt from him because he was just so cool. I mean, if he was doing sales techniques, it worked because, it worked because that
Yeah.
kid was like, he's got to be in his early 20s, just trying to make it through. And he was, I got him. He's like, I'm a big person for humility. If you're a humble person, I could tell that you're. I don't know. For me, it's just like you're a wonderful human being, and that's what this kid sounded like.
Was
He
he
had a
the
tag match. Say
type
again?
of I meant to I'm sorry, but I was
Sure.
gonna
No, no.
ask, you said he's a lucha. Is he the type of cat where it's like anytime he's maintaining the kayfabe of like staying under
Yeah.
the mask? So
Hmm.
even his merch table, if he's selling a mask, it's like, oh, this is
He's
from
on
like,
mask. Yeah.
oh, he is
What?
masked.
Yeah, he's masked. He
Okay.
keeps it like this mask that he has right here. Even on his Instagram, he added me on Instagram, and we're buddies on Instagram. Um, every time he, like on his personal stories, he's at the gym working out, and he's got like he covers the face up
Yep.
of like an emoji or whatever. Penta does the same thing. Like the thing about the luchadors,
Well, you
it's
sent
so
me pictures
secretive.
of you hanging out with
Yeah,
Penta, and he's got like the
yeah,
paint on it and stuff. I was
yeah.
like,
He's got it. He keeps it kayfabe, man. And
which is
so
funny because I think
yeah.
he's actually been like unmasked on TV.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And but the thing is, you don't like they don't go. I mean, like if you look at, okay, if you were to compare him to like Rey Mysterio has Instagram pictures of him at like his daughter's or son's graduation without the mask on. He's just like publicly like posting like, yeah, I don't care,
Yeah.
because you've seen. But then again, you've seen his face. If you follow WCW,
Oh
you've
yeah, he
seen
did
his
a
face.
couple of years where he didn't have a
Yeah,
mask
yeah. He
on.
didn't
So
have
you're
his
like,
mask on. Yeah, you're like, well, it's almost like the big tradition down in Mexico is like the luchadors. That's your whole identity. You take
mhm,
off the mask, you're done. You're nothing.
yeah,
Nobody knows who you are. One of the reasons why, like the second, or I can't remember, the second or third Pentagon in the Pentagon Junior, like the second incarnation or the third, I can't remember, like failed because they removed his mask, and then
yeah,
they put him back on, and nobody cared who he was. Like it was whatever. And so, which is why, like I said before, this supposedly the gimmick is kind of cursed until this dude
yeah.
came in and just kind of lifted it higher than it was supposed to be, which is a credit to him. Anyway, I'm getting off topic because my ADD's kicking in.
It's
So
fine. I
then,
got you on topic.
yeah, no, you're good, you're good. And so, but yeah, like going back to this kid, like he keeps it kayfabe and just the humble humility, and he's like, yeah, I'll be, I want to be on your show, whatever. And so he'll, we'll have him on eventually.
Oh,
Penta said the same thing. Well, he wants to be on our show. It just depends whenever he's not busy. So one of these days we'll have him. We'll have Pentagon Junior or Pentagon El Cerro Miedo, however you want to call him. He'll be on our show. Same thing with his kid Briante, which he's pretty cool kid. But I would suggest give him. I'm gonna type it in right now because I thought it was really cool. That's not it. Hold on. I'm gonna write it down so that people can kind of follow this kid. Briante. So he's on IG. Um, Hold on. At Brillante. I'm typing up Brillante underscore RB. And there you go. IG underscore Briante. Excuse me, at Briante underscore RB. Follow this kid up. He's a good luchador. I saw him wrestle in a tag match. He was pretty good. Yes, he's very young, but he's still like you could tell that he's gonna go places. So I look forward to seeing Briante underscore RB soon or whenever he comes into Houston. There's apparently a place here in Houston that does like indie matches and lucha matches. So I'm looking forward to that. I think I sent you a link on that just not that
Mhm.
long ago.
I told you I was
But
100% down to go.
yeah, we're down, but yeah. Nonetheless, it was a great experience. We got to see Penta do his wrestling stuff, and it's funny because I guess these indie matches you're not supposed to go all out. Boy went all out, took some hits.
Dude, no, I would think like every indie show I've been at, with the exception
Yeah,
of a couple,
hmm
like dudes are. It
they're
depends.
busting it. They're
Yeah,
busting it.
they'll
They
beat
go
the
all
shit
out.
out. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, indie shows because like that's your. There's some things in indie shows I really enjoy, and I'll stay on this topic for
it's
like
more
2 minutes. We
personal.
can jump.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's
Yeah,
more
go ahead.
personal, and the matches
Yeah.
tell a better story. So, like with AEW and
This.
WWE, like you have a build up. Like we'll go into Crown Jewel, we'll talk about Crown Jewel, and we'll talk about a lot of the matches. The matches had a month or so of build up, but a
Yeah,
lot of these indie shows, like the build up is what you can tell in the ring. That's why I've always respected indie wrestlers because, like, they do a lot in very little time
they
window, and
do.
some of
They do.
so, um,
By the way, I want to acknowledge the comment because I'm not going to post it, but Botkins, great friend of ours, Crown Jewel was just as predictable as Rio's drinking, and I'm not going to do the rest of the part. But
meh, there
what do
was
you think? What do you guys think? Was it as predictable? Botkins said it was predictable,
it
but
was
so
there was a
but that's a
couple
good
of things.
segue into that segue into Crown Jewel from there. So
Okay,
thanks, Botkins. All right, so what do you think about Crown Jewel? Did you enjoy it or no?
let I liked it. I thought it was like these Saudi pay-per-views. If you can
Mm,
get the suspension of disbelief that they're in Saudi Arabia out,
yeah.
they're fun, and they've like I'd say since the year that it was not last year's, but the year before Crown Jewel, starting with
Yeah.
around that time window, they've been a
Yeah.
lot of fun and they've told compelling stories through matches.
Yeah.
Um, and this one was no exception. I would say the only match that like, well, there were two, and then a segment that I was kind of like, it's whatever. I did not really care for like the women's fatal five way for the World Women's Championship.
Yeah.
Did not really care for that one, and then I did not care for the like that weird Miz thing that they did.
Right.
That was a little interesting. The rest of it, top to bottom card, I was excited. I'm glad with what they opened with. The WWE. This is where it gets weird. And if you want to go through the card, we can talk about it. And we get to the match,
Yeah.
I'll tell you kind of where I feel about it.
Okay.
It's interesting to me. So top of the show, pre-show match was Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough. So pretty much like Sammy versus the Bloodline, setting that thing up. Sammy
Mhm.
went over on JD. I didn't catch this match. I forgot that it was a pre-show match.
Yeah.
But I caught the highlights. It served its purpose. Kind of there. The true opening match, though,
It seemed
well,
like it was what it was kind of a match. You
it
know what I mean? I was
was.
like,
It was there, I think, to just get them there and to explain, like, hey, they're gonna be involved.
yeah.
First true match of the main card, though, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre
Drew
for the
McIntyre.
world
Yeah.
heavyweight.
Hmm.
I wanted the title change personally.
Yeah.
I think it's time. The title doesn't feel. It's always going to feel auxiliary as long as Roman holds the unified. That's just it. It is what it is. However, like I was the type of person where I'm like, this is Drew's second major title opportunity in a year. The first one being last year at Clash of the Castle, which like
Yeah.
if you thought he was winning that one, sorry. Um, I really, really like the way they built this one up with like Seth saying, "I want you," or like, you know, you had your moment, like you lost it. Sorry, that sucks.
Mhm.
This is my moment, and Drew going
Right.
like, no, 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 like I didn't have my moment was nothing. Like my moment
Yeah.
was empty
It was
arenas,
empty.
and then
Empty
when I had
arenas.
my second opportunity, I lost it. I had my third opportunity, the bloodline get involved. Like I don't have a moment. I want my moment.
Mhm.
And it's like it was fun. There was a lot of great matches or a lot of great spots in this. Fucking Drew with that future shock DDT, like it's
Mhm.
A plus. I'm upset with the outcome, but I'm hoping that just means we're maybe going to get Seth versus Drew at Survivor Series for the match,
Right.
or somehow they're going to be on opposite
So
sides in a War Games match.
so correct me if I'm wrong here. I agree with you 100% that Drew McIntyre should have gotten the shot, but do you now out of curiosity, do you think it's maybe because he didn't sign he hasn't agreed to a full contract yet, or does that have anything to do with it? What do you
No,
think?
I think uh, contracts or not, WWE is smarter than that. Um,
Mhm.
if anything, I would say, especially post Endeavor deal, like
Mhm.
Triple H said it best. He was like, some people want us to tell a story and like are
Right.
thinking we're already in the ninth inning. Like the bloodline stuff at Mania this past year. He was like, we're in the third inning.
Yeah.
We're not even like maybe this Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins stuff goes to the Rumble. And maybe we
Okay.
get like maybe Drew wins a Rumble again and his Rumble opportunity or his title opportunity is, hey, I want that and I want it on the big stage.
Right.
Like it plants seeds that can work while at the same time helping what should feel like the World Heavyweight Championship feel like the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Because no matter what they're going to do, like Rollins does not have a valid, like the next opponent that Rollins has cannot, like, he's had three really good feuds for this between Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, and now Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre. Like he's helped bring prestige to the title.
Yeah.
So I do feel Drew should have won. I felt like it was time for it to change hands. I understand why they didn't. Because I also forgot War Games is in 3 weeks,
Right.
so they need to do some build up.
Okay.
So it also being the second longest match on the card, great for them. They
Yeah.
tore it down. They set up a
He
great
did.
pay per view. I hate the fact that it got deflated in the second match, which was
Yeah.
the Fatal 5-Way Championship match for the Women's World Championship, which was your
Rhea
women's
Ripley versus
taking on versus Nia Jax, Raquel, Shayna, Zoe.
Shayna and Zoe and Raquel. Yeah, Raquel Rodriguez, like you said.
Um,
Um, yeah, that one was anticlimactic. I didn't really. I expected a little bit more from it, but it was not a good match.
I was hoping, and I thought about this, and I was like, like Zoe Stark. I think Zoe Stark is an underutilized talent. She had some great stuff with Trish earlier this year, going into stupid computer. Are you seeing the thumbs up on my camera
I
on the top?
am. I
Okay,
was just happy. I was like, "Hey, people liking this one? All right,
um,
we're doing good." It made me feel good for like a minute.
um, Zoe Stark had that great summer with Trish. I think she's like I enjoyed her stuff in NXT. I didn't really see her as like a viable contender. Shayna Baszler, like she's a former NXT Women's Champion, hasn't really done much on the main roster. It's kind of getting to the point where you're like, okay, shit her off, get off the pot.
Yeah.
Her big push was the Ronda thing at SummerSlam.
Mhm.
Raquel, I personally want heel Raquel back, like Chicana Bomb, like
Mhm.
the badass like super dark makeup.
Right.
The whole like smiley, bubbly, just happy to be here things not working. And then Naya, like she was just there to kind of set up spots. I get the point of the match.
Without trying to injure people.
Correct. That's always going to be the big one. I get the point of the match. They needed to help Rhea look strong. This is where I was going with this title, where the world heavyweight is helping to feel really legitimized. The
Mhm.
world's women is not. Um, it's cool. It's on Rhea. Rhea's the center point of Raw. Everything she does though does not involve that championship, and that
Right.
sucks. It's like you're getting the championship to kind of be the face up on it at Raw, but every number
Mhm.
one contender match you've had this year has been very deflating. A lot of your heat is coming off of your heater, who's Dom. Um, you're kind of more involved in the Judgment Day stuff than you are in anything with the women's division. But when you are involved in the women's division, it's kind of like, oh, I've got 5 women who want my championship. If they're holding it for Becky to get it back, cool. Like, just fucking pull the trigger, put it back on Becky. Ronda, if they're trying to build up Rhea needs a better feud, and I don't think it's going to come from these 5. I think it needs like a shot in the arm, whether it's a Becky Lynch, move Bailey over, put Charlotte over. Like, this is the proof that there's no depth in that women's division on Raw, which
Right.
is the inverse of where we're going to go through later in the card. Or you've got to course correct now with Rhea, Raquel, or Zoe, or even Nia. Like, one of those 3 can be a good, like, linchpin to something bigger. And this match just didn't do it for me. It didn't do it at
It did
all.
not.
It was really deflating.
It was.
Which
It
is
wasn't really. Yeah, it wasn't really a good match. I didn't see any excitement for it. I was just kind of like, it's kind of dragging on, and it felt like it. In a certain point, I was like, okay. And usually, I'm like, okay, and I'm a big Rhea Ripley fan myself, so
Mhm.
I'm just like kind of like excited. I'm like, and I felt like a lot of this was kind of dragging that potential she has. Like I didn't really get to see the Rhea Ripley that I wanted to see, and I was just like, it
I,
it was more of like, all right, I'm gonna take a bathroom break really quick,
it's
and
exactly what it
and I
was.
hate to say it that way because I do like I enjoy my women's wrestling, but my gosh, that was one of those matches where I'm just like, all right, we're
And
it's not going anywhere, it's dragging.
it's interesting to me because, like, even if we were to look at the NXT profile of like who
Yeah,
they could do, like, put Tiffany in there, or
yeah,
bring up Cora, bring up somebody that like maybe can help just bubble a feud over, or get her more like
yeah,
legitimization to a title. Because here's
yeah,
the difference: is like Seth's title is a new title. Her
mhm,
title is just a rebranded title. You had the
yeah,
prestige. That's the original. No, that's the SmackDown title. Sorry, this
right.
is the makeover of the
The
SmackDown title.
makeover, yeah,
But I mean, like, that title had a background, and
mhm,
it's not being utilized. It's also like, it's nice because it's not at the fault of the star that's holding it. It's at
mm,
the fault of just bad booking decisions or bad depth in a roster that kind of needs some depth to it.
yeah.
Moving down the card, fourth match on the card, which was actually like surprisingly a lot of fun and a technical match from him. Solo Sikoa went over on John Cena in what was just a standard singles match.
So,
Um,
ask you a question. My buddy Bodkins from the Bodkins Show posted this. Asked the question in the
yep,
comments: If John Cena
absolutely none. Yep.
why do you say that? I'm just asking. I'm not anything wrong.
So I don't think Cena's done. This was definitely a match, I think, to like get there's 2 outcomes I have for John Cena. So John
Okay.
Cena says like he's not done hanging it up. I think he's done with this run. I think he's about to go back and do some
Mm,
movies.
mhm.
You're either gonna get one more small run of like this caliber of like, I'm gonna come back for a couple weeks, maybe a month, do some stuff, or we're gonna get a 3 or 4 month period, throw 17 on him, let him have his world championship, get the record on him, cement him as the greatest of all time.
You really think they're going to go for a 17 run with him?
I,
Just
it,
out of
I
curiosity.
I really do. I think that
Okay.
that has always been in my head the in case of emergency break glass. We're not
Okay.
there anymore. Now I think it's moving towards the, hey, John's like, the moment John Cena wins either the Universal or the Heavyweight Championship, it's done. Like, that's
Mm,
his last run.
So do you think? Because I know somehow somewhere I heard it, and it may be wrong. It's not that Roman, not Roman. I'm sorry, Roman might take some time off.
Roman, what time off can Roman take? Roman's
I
got.
mean, yeah, he's already like part time regardless.
I
But
mean, he did
uh,
Survivor. We haven't seen him some SummerSlam. That was
yeah,
August. He didn't do the last 2 major pay-per-views. He came in for
mhm,
this one. He's out for War Games.
yeah,
He'll be back at the
yeah.
Rumble.
I thought.
Um
See, with this, I thought, and we'll get into it. Don't worry. I thought he was going to lose this one.
no.
If anything, well, just because it was Crown Jewel, and then maybe have like a LA Knight John Cena little thing going on.
You're going to hate me, and we'll get to it when we get there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's very much a bigger plan, I think, at stake for that title,
Okay.
and we're in the, as they said in Avengers, we're in the end
We're in the
game.
end game now.
But I don't think the end games. I think we've got 5 more months or so.
Okay.
Um,
So do
good
you
match,
at any point do you think there might be a LA Knight, John Cena rivalry?
100%. And I think it's going to be the
Okay.
United States Championship. I think what you're going to get is somewhere between now and and Mania, maybe the
Mm,
Rumble. We're going to get LA Knight versus the we'll get to it versus the
mm,
United States Championship. He'll hold that through Mania. Cena will come in and feud with him for that, so we can get him a true heel run.
mhm.
Um, and then, or not Cena, by the way, LA Knight, a heel
You
run.
think? Oh, you think LA Knight will go
Yeah.
back to being a heel? Okay.
I think if we can get another year with the same amount of like push like that,
Mm.
if he can maintain where he's at through Mania of next year, get to about this point next year, once we get through the card,
So
we can kind of discuss it. But I think he's going to maintain that main event caliber, but it's going to take a year
yeah. Do
if he
you?
can maintain
Okay.
it.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so that kind of answers the question where we think if John Cena's done or not, if they're gonna use him for with LA Knight. Okay, so now let me ask you this: do you really think with as much uh uh crowd acceptance or whatever, all this energy that he's got from the crowd right now, LA Knight, you think they'll put him into a heel? You don't think they would do like a face versus face thing, kind of like how they did it
No,
with Steve Austin and The Rock years
no,
ago?
no,
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 you think
no.
he'll go back to heel? What if they
Um,
make John Cena heel?
the crowd will never turn on Cena. Cena
Really?
is going to be your perpetual. From this point forward, Cena is going to be the
Mm.
perpetual babyface. It's easier to
So
turn
you,
Knight
yeah.
heel and then have that whole thing go through. And
Yeah.
once LA Knight, but I don't think Cena's done. I think there's two outcomes that could come from this. Number
Okay.
one, this is a way to like legitimize Solo. Like the fact that Cena let Solo go over on him
Yeah.
is a big deal. It helps
Okay.
push
Yeah.
Solo to that mid card status
Mm.
and gets him out of just being the lackey. That's annoying the shit out of me. Sorry.
I kind of like it. No, like no kidding. It makes us like, yeah, another fan just like their stuff.
Um, but
Mhm.
it'll help get Solo to that mid card status.
Yeah.
Um, two things are going to happen. Number one, if the rumors are true, we're going to have some form of Cena involvement at Survivor Series. It's in 3 weeks. He's good till the end of the year, whether or not SAG goes back to work.
Mhm.
So Cena with a group of 4 versus the Bloodline. Kevin Owens isn't on Raw. Cena just lost to what was the enforcer of the Bloodline. Right now, if we look at the Raw side of Survivor Series, it's really only Cody, Sammy, and Jay.
Yeah.
So
So
if we're gonna do a 4v4 like a traditional war games, get Cena over there. If we're gonna do 5, Cena can captain with Cody and kind of help develop that. That way, because you'll have a bloodline team.
right.
Or the tribal chief will send people because Roman's not involved. So Cena's not done. I think this is a way for them to kind of preemptively prepare to not have Cena for an extended period of time, which is nice. Um, I don't want to see like I personally do not want to see Cena be done yet. Anyways,
Yeah. I don't either. Even though I did not like him at first when he came through, but he grew on me, so I have no,
like
I
that whole
like
thing,
Cena.
didn't like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I did.
if
Yeah.
I've told my girlfriend if we ever get married, I am going down the aisle at least on my part to John Cena's thing, like hat, the 3 fingers, the whole nine, like that.
I got it.
That
So
that's my boy.
look, quick funny story. With one of our best friends. Okay, so I've
Mhm.
known my circle group of my best friends. I've known them all since like we were kids,
Yeah.
literally, like third, fourth grade. One of them got married, I think 2016, 2017. I can't remember. It's been a while. 2018, maybe? I don't know, whatever. Um, and like they asked us, like his wife asked us, "Hey, what do you guys, what do y'all want to do?" And that's when and it was 28, it was like 2018, and we started, it was pre-COVID, there you go. We started like thinking, what should we do for his wedding, because he was like the first one that got married in our group. We were just like, all of us are a bunch of losers, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. But it's our boys, and so he got married first, and so we thought, what if we did like a wrestling entrance or
Hell
whatever?
yeah. Hell
And
yeah.
we did. It's still on, and if I ever find the video, I'm gonna do it. I'm
Shoot it
gonna
to me.
show y'all. It's I like I think my buddy Omar came out to Triple H's theme song or DX's theme song. I can't remember.
Okay.
And it was like with like the bride and whoever the lady was accompanying us or whatever at the time. Um, and I don't know. Triple H was one of them, and I can't remember none of them were John Cena. They were all Attitude Era based theme. We were trying to get Juan,
Yeah.
our buddy Juan. He was supposed to come out to the Undertaker's theme song, I believe.
So
But
he would
all
have
I
had a 30-minute walk.
right 30-minute walk. The DJ kind of screwed up one of the songs, and I think it might have been the no. I take that back. Omar was supposed to come out to Motorhead, Triple H's theme song, and
Okay.
I think that one's the one that got mixed up. And I think our buddy Bruce was supposed to come out to Mick Foley. I can't remember something like that. But all I know is I came out to Stone Cold Steve Austin's song. Yeah, the glass break and all that. I was even doing the whole thing or whatever. I had the can of beer and all that. That was fun. But yeah, if that does happen with you,
Oh,
I'd like to see video. I'd
you'll
love to see
probably
that.
be there. I hate to tell you.
Deal. I'm down. I'll if you need me for any prop or whatever, you let me know.
Oh,
I'll
for
gladly
sure.
participate. Yes. Anyway, back to that, but that's
All
cool.
right.
I like
Fifth
talking about that.
fifth match on the card for the United
Ray,
States Championship.
Ray
And this is
versus Logan.
your
Yeah.
boy, Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul.
See
Logan Paul and new United
United
States
States champion.
Championship.
So
Did you catch how he won though?
yeah, with brass
Brass
knuckles
knuckles.
with what's his face Escobar. I feel there may be a feud coming up with Escobar and Mysterio.
Oh yeah. What was
Because
it?
it's going to elevate Escobar to a whole new level. They see some potential.
Somebody had said like Ray losing tonight means LWO is kicking him out. I was like, oh yeah,
Yes,
turn the entirety of
as
LWO
it should.
heel.
Yeah.
Get built up to the LWO versus Rey Mysterio thing. Maybe
Yes.
involve Dom. I don't know. He's deadbeat dad to
Maybe.
Dom.
Yeah.
It's
You
it
can
was
bring up some stuff like no wonder Dom was right or whatever,
yep,
or Dom, yeah, you can bring
exactly.
little things like that and still have Dom do his thing.
Um,
I liked it. I
it was
really
a great
did.
match.
I liked. Yeah, people like. Don't get me wrong. I am not a Logan Paul fan whatsoever. The guy can fight.
I asked a friend of mine. I was like,
Mm.
"Am I supposed like which one am I supposed to hate more, Logan or Jake?" Because like I feel like Jake is the one I want to punch more, but
Yes.
Logan is the one that I'm always like, "You're obnoxious on YouTube, but Jesus Christ, can you bring it?" And like he has never had a bad match. His buckshot or what they call it, slingshot lariat.
Yeah.
Um, first off,
On point.
fun fact most people don't know, he was trained by Hangman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Yeah.
till
Yeah.
a while ago, but like he's got a really clean buckshot.
Mhm.
There was a couple of spots in there. There was that spot where Ray was setting up for he did the
Oh, he almost broke
Irish
his
whip.
neck. He
Yep.
almost broke his neck.
Um,
Logan saved him on that one.
Yep. And then there
Yeah.
was the thing with like Logan set him up for the Irish whip. He did
Yeah.
the frog jump, and then
Yeah.
he was gonna do it a second time, and Ray looks at him. He's like, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh damn, like we're doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Um,
It was good.
it was a good
It's
match.
easily one of my favorites of the night
Yep. And
or
I would
the
say
day, whatever you want to call it.
I would say probably the right call for the championship.
Mhm.
It means Logan Paul is going to be more involved on SmackDown, which I'm cool for.
Mhm.
I
Keeps him
do,
busy.
yeah. And it's your question. I think this is also going to help LA Knight, and we'll get to it when we get to LA Knight versus Roman. But
Yeah.
great match. Right decision was made.
Mhm.
Did not realize Prime was a big thing in Saudi Arabia until I saw a bunch of kids with Prime bottles. I thought that was kind of funny.
Look, let me tell you this. As an educator, I even see it in elementary schools with the prime bottles.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere. So
It's
and it's nothing
everywhere.
but sugar water. It's literally just sugar water and like it's diabetes in a bottle. That's all it is.
If you haven't tried the energy drink,
Nope.
it's no sugar. I've had a can of it, and it's like 4
Mm.
times the amount of caffeine that's in a Red Bull, and I was like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Mhm.
Oh, they're
No,
all right.
no.
The blood orange mango is not bad as a flavor.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not gonna I'll take your word for it. But
By all
yeah, no,
means.
believe me, I see it all the time and I see them all the time. So it's like it's just a
This-
fad. It really is. It's a fad.
But to the idea, like this is a good point because it'll get more eyes on the
Great
product,
marketing. It's
and
marketing.
it's marketing.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna have strap in because I think we're in this for at least WrestleMania.
Oh
WrestleMania, I
yeah,
think that we'll
definitely.
get a title change out, but
It's a
he'll
long
get a good
term.
run.
Yeah.
Sixth match of the card. Bianca Belair took on Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. Holy
I love
shit,
Io
was this
Sky.
an overbooked match, but in the
Yeah.
best way possible.
Hmm.
So when we're talking about the women's titles, this is what I was getting at. This title has carried so much prestige since Mania.
Yeah.
A little bit after. I'd say once it was taken from Raw Women's Championship to the Women's Championship again, I do like that it's got the whole background of the Women's Championship as it should.
Hmm.
Um, this has felt like a more legitimate title, and I think Io has done an incredible job
She
as a
has.
champion. Um, Holy shit, was this match overbooked? Bailey get involved. You got uh, surprise, surprise. If you didn't realize it, by the way, Io was going to retain. If anyone thought Io was
No.
dropping a crown
No.
jewel to Bianca, Bianca is not touching a title until Mania. If
No.
anything, somehow this title is getting on Charlotte before WrestleMania, and we're going to have a WrestleMania match of Bianca versus Charlotte for a title.
Right.
Just be ready for that, but I don't think it's for a while. The really nice thing about this is Kairi Sane came back and got
Yeah.
involved.
Hmm.
But if you the devil's in the details of this, go
Hmm.
back and roll the tape back and watch Bailey. Because
Yeah.
Bailey was the reason Kyrie left
Hmm.
WWE.
It's yeah.
The last match Kyrie
They're
had
gonna
was
use
with
that.
Bailey. Oh, I hope so. And I hope
Yeah.
it's we're gonna get a face turn on Bailey because I
Hmm.
think it's time.
It's time because she's been playing the heel for quite some time, and even as a fan that is not a diehard but occasional, I'm just like,
You can turn her
Bailey's turn.
face
Mm,
without bringing back the hugger shit. Like
right.
you can keep this like the damage control stuff, but
Hmm.
somehow I think we're gonna plant the seeds. There's another thing too. Like Kyrie can drop the title to Bailey, and we can
Yeah.
get like there's so many like little secrets that we get now with this.
Hmm.
This was a lot of fun. I'd say my second favorite match of the night, to the first
Hmm.
one being
Hmm.
Seth versus Drew. Um, it was overbooked in the best ways. It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. Really glad Kyrie Sane's back. I personally think she's great. Just don't put her anywhere near Asuka for right now because
Yeah.
I love those two. I like those two together, but like this needs to simmer, and I think Triple H is going to do
Hmm.
it the best way.
As he
Um,
should. I
oh yeah.
trust. I trust some Triple H. Let the man cook. Let him simmer.
Um, Speaking of overbooked, and not the best ways, but overbooked nonetheless. Seventh match and your sub main event, co main event. It's a Cody match.
Cody
Cody
and
and Damien.
Damien. Yeah.
Um,
What'd
so
you think of
earlier,
that one?
so
Because I know
earlier in the
you're a
night,
big Cody fan,
I'm a huge Cody fan.
which I am too.
So earlier in the night, Damien tried to cash in.
Hmm.
Now I didn't catch the entirety of this match. This is all highlights for me. Um, Damien tried to cash in right after the heavyweight championship match. Sammy stepped in, took the briefcase, and so did that get involved or brought up at all during this match? Like, did we somehow get told like, "Hey, by the way, Sammy's involved," or no?
Mm-mm. Not that I
Okay,
think, not that I can think of, because I saw also brief highlights of it. So I just like you, I wasn't too much into it.
let's see.
Yeah,
Um,
but I don't see anything because um
there's
he was.
nothing
I know you.
involving.
I know. Yeah, I remember like Rhodes had like repeatedly shaking like leg moves or whatever, and he was selling
Mhm.
the ankle injury that got inflicted like during Judgment Day or
And
something
then
like that.
Judgment Day came out. So Priest did come out with Balor, JD
Hmm.
McDonough, and Dominic. So it's like
Dominic, yeah,
with a steel chair. So like shenanigans were there, and from what I've
mhm,
seen, like all three of them got involved until Jay came out.
right,
Sammy's not involved, and Sammy's got the briefcase. So
yeah,
luckily, right now, this does mean Money in the Bank's probably not going to be a factor until Survivor Series or post
yeah,
Survivor Series, which is cool. This is what I've wanted is somehow getting the chess pieces in place.
hmm,
So War Games is going to be nice because at least on the men's side, like I said, we can go Judgment Day. We can go, Bloodline versus the fucked over by Bloodline teams. You've
yeah,
got the Judgment Day, and you can do Judgment Day versus fucked over by Judgment Day.
hmm.
Cena can somehow get involved. Like there's so many moving pieces that come
So
from
many
this.
angles, right? Like so many different
Um,
angles that.
I personally really love the aspect. Was this match overbooked? Yes, it's a Cody
Yes.
match. It's always going to be overbooked, but it's again like it's compelling enough that it's keeping me involved. I
Yeah.
really, really need to go back and I want to see the. I told my girlfriend as we were leaving, I was like, I'm really curious to see how over Cody is in a country that's not the United States.
Yeah,
Um,
because of the whole
the
American
whole American
nightmare
nightmare thing.
thing. Yeah.
I can imagine it was over. I want to hear how big the fan reaction was, but Cody did end up going over with. I'm watching y'all from Madagascar. Thank you. That's awesome.
Hey, what's up? I appreciate you.
Um,
Which I'm gonna get like a comment later on. Here's how you can boost your podcast. Right?
um, Cody did win with 3 crossroads after a Cody cutter on Damian after Jay got involved and took out Judgment Day. Cool. The Cody was like, if anybody was like, oh, Cody's gonna lose, Cody is
Yeah.
not losing between now and April. Get ready for it.
Yeah,
Cody's
he's not. He's
Cody
on a,
is
he's
like
Mhm.
everything they're involving with this man right now. Um, his indie thing aside, where one of my favorite Cody shirts is "Daddy Eats First." Oh no, what's up,
What's up,
Tino?
guys? What's up,
He,
Tino? He
strap
says, I
your
hope not.
strap in. It's
Oh
happening.
no, he's talking about Bachman's the whole John Cena thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Man.
Strap
Yeah.
in. Cody is set from now till Mania,
Yeah.
and will probably win through WrestleMania. Um, he's not in charge of his booking, but it works. And
Yeah.
like I'm excited to see Cody. I'm excited. Like
Me
I
too.
still get hyped to watch a Cody match. The involvement with the Judgment Day is great. Pre this, he cut a promo on Sunday. He was like, for months I've been getting involved. I've had other people involved, and
Yeah.
he was like, guess what? Eyes on the prize, and I'm coming for it.
Yeah.
And he said that to Roman, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hell yes. I was afraid the tag thing was going to hold over until Mania or until right before Mania as a way to get him intersection with Roman, but we don't
Mhm.
need it.
We don't.
The SmackDown before they lost the titles, you had that stare down between him and Roman, and you had to get Nick Aldis involved. He's like, yo, they're like, guys, no. I'm like, cool. You're set. He doesn't have to win a Rumble. He doesn't have to do anything. Get out of the Royal Rumble. Have him just like if you have to find a stipulation for him to call a shot and just have him come
Yeah.
out and he's like, hey, shot's called.
Yeah.
Game on. April 3rd, 2024. You and I have a
It's
date
on.
and it's on. No
It's on.
Judgment Day involvement, no
I feel
bloodline
that.
involvement. Like me, honestly, put that bitch in a Hell in a Cell and let's call it. Like if they do a
Oh,
oof.
I would
And
love
I
that.
know anyways, this is a good match. Both men are really strong. Main
Yeah.
event. Main event was
Yeah. Let's end it with a main event. Yeah.
Tribal Chief Roman
Yeah.
Reigns versus LA Knight. Sorry to anybody who believed that LA was winning this. He's not touching it.
No.
Not at all. But it was a test.
I had a simmer of hope, but
This is to see if he can handle main event status.
Right. A test.
Plain and simple. Test. He lost. He lost in an overbooked bloodline ending involving damn near everybody. Jimmy got involved. Jimmy got involved. Knight took him out, put him through a table. Roman speared him after Jimmy got involved. He kicked out of the spear, which was awesome. And then he speared him through the barricade, won via count out. Kept LA Knight looking strong. He retains his title. LA Knight can sit here from this point forward, go say, hey, like, I want to rematch. Roman goes, nope, you lost. End of the line. Fuck you. Put U.S. Championship from Logan Paul over on LA Knight for a little bit.
Yeah.
Get that up. All in all, I'd say minus 2 things. Pretty solid pay-per-view.
Yeah, I would agree. I like 8 out of 10. I think so too. There was some predictability, some things that I liked, some things that I didn't. Obviously, the women's match was the one that to me that didn't stand out as much, but the Mysterio one was great. I like the Mysterio match. Sorry,
I was like 80% certain. Like I was a little scared. We were gonna get 2 title changes. I honestly did think Io was gonna drop to Bianca just to like say that it happened. I'm glad it didn't. Kind of cool with that. I'm glad we got the title change we got. Yeah. If anyone, like it was said earlier, if you thought this was predictable, there's a lot of predictability in this. It's good. That just means the storytelling is good. It means you know what you're going in for.
There you go. All right.
Cool.
Justin, I appreciate you coming on the show. We gotta do this often, brother. I gotta go. That's all. But hey, brother, good talking to you.
Always great.
Yeah, man. Good talking to you as well. Let's keep this going. I do want to come back for episode 8 as soon as possible. But hey, Survivor Series is coming on, so I think we're gonna have some more material for like episode 8 when we
You
come
do
through.
like a
All right,
little
bro.
watch long. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I would like to do that, like the watch alongs or whatnot. So hey, maybe for episode 8 we'll do the watch along, or maybe
All
even
right.
before that. We'll see what's up. But hey, man, I appreciate you coming on the show as always. And that's gonna do it for tonight. Again, if you saw me with Rangers gear, I hate it too. I had no choice
He
because I
loves
opened
it.
up my big. I
Loves
hate
it.
it. The
Loves
worst
it.
thing ever. I don't know how these people deal with it over there. That's why they didn't show up for the parade. Ooh. Anyway,
Ooh.
Houston had 2 million. Y'all had like 500K. What? No. Anyway, nonetheless, that's what I get for opening my big mouth though. I hate it.
Guys, have a great night.
Great night. Again, Justin, thank you for joining us, and that's gonna be it. Join us. We'll let you guys. We'll put it up whenever we're able to come back for episode 8. So,
Hell yeah.
all right, guys, that'll be it. Peace. Thanks for checking us out, y'all. See you later.